What's going on, golf fans? It is Tour Player Tuesday. We're back in after a little break last week, and we are going to look at Jordan Spieth. All right, rediscovered his game over the last year or so, playing some good stuff, played some pretty wild shots, and also there's just a little inconsistency in terms of that long game, guys. And we're going to have a look at that to see if it relates to your game, why it's happening, physically, what issues are kind of present in the swing, and then learn from it, guys. Okay, we want to be as efficient and consistent as possible off the tee. So we're going to take a look at Jordan with his swing. We're going to relate it to your game, get to the mat, and then also get into the gym, guys. All right, so let's take a look at the driver swing. Okay guys, so here's the driver swing. This is where a couple of issues creep in for Jordan. You can see the fundamentals. Obviously there are some idiosyncrasies to this swing, and we're going to take a look at exactly what's going on. All right, so position at the top is certainly one thing, but if you watched it over the weekend, you will have heard some of the commentary as well. The right leg position. Okay, this is something we focus on in our coaching an awful lot. It's the stability and power in the swing for most players. Okay, so what really I notice here is that as we take the club back, we got a little trigger motion looking good. The right leg does straighten, but it's still supporting. I think the real kind of issue in terms of consistency, and I mean Jordan knows what's going on, so it's not as if this is a criticism, just kind of looking at exactly what is going on. When we get to the top of the swing, he has that little extra wrist motion, which kind of gets that droop in the club at the top, but structurally it's still pretty good. What you can actually see is that the weight has shifted almost all the way back to the right heel, and the right foot, the right toes are then lifting. Okay, so you think about engagement to the ground, whether you're in the gym, whether you're hitting balls with the golf swing, the whole foot needs to be engaged. Okay, and the actual use of the big toe and the pressure going through the instep of that foot is a huge part of that. Okay, so what I see in terms of consistency right here is that once you start to pull back into the heel too much, you're naturally going to move your center of mass slightly backwards, and then the problem comes that once you actually then have to trigger back in the other way and we get the pressure going back through the foot, you're going to change the center of mass again. Okay, so in terms of being super consistent and keeping the body aligned, once you start to move slightly in terms of distance to the ball, we're bringing in some different elements, and that can make it tricky. And you can see it here. We get to the top, into that heel, and you have to move forwards. Okay, and it is a trigger movement. Obviously, the leg action is similar to a lot of players. You can see how the weight's transferring, but in terms of connection to the ground, there's maybe just a little weakness there. Okay, guys, different visual here before we get into it on the mat. Cool hole from the Ryder Cup, and we've got an iron here. So with the iron, when we're talking about our center of mass shifting, obviously we want to keep the pressure down on the ball a little more. Okay, we're getting a descending angle of attack. So in terms of recentering that weight, it's a little easier to focus it back down on the ball. Okay, but when we're transitioning with the driver and that pressure shifting throughout the foot, because we're trying to clear, hit up on the ball, it makes it a little bit more difficult to center yourself, hence why the footwork is even more important. And obviously add in the other factors in terms of clubhead speed, less loft, longer shaft, the variables just get more and more. Okay, so you can see from the iron shot, we're pretty solid. You do get that position at the top, so kind of bowed, laid off just slightly. It is a weird combination, but it's that footwork that we're really looking at. All right, so you can see here, with it being a shorter iron, that right foot is far more stable. Okay, and then you get that compression, you stay over the ball, and transition through. Okay, so this is something we can talk about as well. We're going to look at why it might be more inconsistent in the swing, in the driver swing, sorry, compared to the iron swing. We're going to take it to the mat. We've got pretty much a drill that I've used for an awful long time that you can use to dial this in and improve your game. Okay guys, so let's look at this in terms of your own mechanics. Okay, so again, talking about that trail foot, that's how we create torque, that's how we create load, rotation through the trail side, it really is an important factor. And as you can see, as we just talked about, with that shorter swing of the iron, it's much easier to keep your center of gravity down over the ball, so pressure into the ground, and then create that compression. Okay, but once we start to move into the driver, as you can see here, as soon as I let too much weight go into the heel and the toes lift, with that shift forwards, it's very difficult to get the club back to the ball consistently. Okay, so with the pressure moving forwards, you're quite likely to get that club from in to out, probably a little too much, and hit that big high right. You might also flip the face and hit that left, guys. Okay, so again, we are seeing that Jordan is pretty inconsistent off the tee right now. He's getting better and better, and obviously he knows what he's doing, guys, right? So we can expect some pretty good things. Okay, but in terms of really loading that trail foot, when I hit the driver well, I'm looking at creating maximum tension and engagement from the whole foot, including the big toe, right through the instep to the ground, which gives me the ability to load the whole body against that trail hip, create an active position at the top, and then engage the ground, work around the center of mass, and unload into the ball. Okay, guys, one of my absolute best drills for this is the backswing loading drill. We've had this up on YouTube before, so head back and check it out. We'll put it up here for you as well. But basically, you're going to align a ball to the back foot just for a backswing drill. You are then going to turn around that ball. Okay, so that acts as a visual. You want to align your left shoulder for the right-handed player to the ball at your back foot, whilst creating massive ground pressure in the right foot and all the way through the right leg. Okay, so continue to work this position. Build confidence in terms of making that full turn, because when you do so, physiologically, you're in a great position at the top, you're still active, and then the body is naturally going to start to change direction. Okay, and once we have that stability, working off the ground, working around your center of gravity, your spine angle, that's when we're going to get real consistent and build some power, guys. All right, and the best way to enhance that is getting in the gym, doing a couple of exercises right here that are going to increase your awareness of the ground and also how you use the ground in terms of balance, stability, and speed. Okay, guys, an incredible way for you to enhance your ability to use the ground in a lateral and rotational way are going to be these two jump variations. And you can do these literally anywhere. Work as a pretty good warm-up before you tee it up as well, guys. All right, so when we're moving laterally or when we're jumping at all, we have to make sure that we control our center of gravity and we use our mass against the ground, creating stability, engagement, and reactionary forces. Okay, so number one is going to be the lateral bound. Okay, this one's very simple. Again, make sure your foot mechanics are on point. You're going to use your upper body against the ground to work from side to side laterally, and make sure you land and accelerate with control and also an excellent balance profile. Okay, let's use the whole foot and let's move that mass. So in doing so, guys, you're working against either side, your foot mechanics are being enhanced each and every time, and it's super simple to execute. Okay, you don't have to move a massive amount of distance, build it up over time. And if you want to take this to the next level, you're going to go into the single leg lateral rotational jump. Okay, same takeoff, but this time we're going to turn 90 degrees in the air, land with 2 feet, and be super solid, guys. All right, so this just requires more speed and obviously brings in that direct transition of adding rotation in there as well. So nail this pattern. Let's hear a couple. Okay, guys, so great way to train, great way to warm up, and a great way to power your swing. This was all about Jordan Spieth, how maybe there are a couple of physiological factors that mean he's not as consistent off the tee as he would like to be, and we can learn from that, guys. Okay, so use the drill, hit the movements, and then let's power up your swing, using the ground effectively to build massive consistency and power, guys. All right, so this Tour Player Tuesday, tell your friends, make sure you subscribe and check out everything else that we do, guys. It's a huge time for us, and we can't wait for you to golf strong with us.